Hello.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
It's just you and me. I don't know if Ted is going to join or not. We'll give him a few minutes. I think Morgan accepted, so he'll join as well.
Great,
How are
great.
you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you settling in?
Fairly well. It's a lot of various work streams,
Yeah,
and so I'm still reorienting. It's going to take a couple weeks, I think.
yeah.
Um,
Now, how long has it been for you since you joined Lightstep?
since I joined Lightstep, I've been here since June, but I've only gotten involved in the OTel work in the past couple of weeks.
Got it.
So, yeah, yeah. So, um, yeah,
Did you take over once Thomas left?
I did. I
Got it.
did.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. So it'll take a minute to figure out what's going on.
Sure.
Yeah, but it's good.
Yeah. I think last meeting was quite productive with us ironing out the versions.
Yes.
That is something I was very concerned about the breaking changes and sort of the SIGs going and doing their own thing versus the spec somewhere floating up in the ether. And I think it was good that we connected that.
Yeah.
Is that Austin? I saw an A join. No, that's Amelia.
Hi, sorry,
Hi,
not
how are you?
Austin. It just gets more disappointing from here.
No, it doesn't. Don't worry. I do like the work that Austin has been doing, and it saw the work that you had done. Basically, it manifested there, right, with the project chart. I don't know if you have noticed, but the OpenTelemetry IO is now uh, a proper website rather than just a static page. And
I
so,
noticed. I just landed a commit this morning.
yeah, there you go. So I like the project chart, although the numbers are completely off, but that's okay. It's a start. Yeah. Um, so I wanted to talk a little bit about that today as well. I don't know.
Sure.
Let's see. Rahul has joined. Thanks for joining, Rahul. Rahul is one of the leads on this side for the Go Sig.
Great.
Hello. Hey guys.
Rahul Midori has taken over the engineering management work on Lightstep side. Thomas, I believe you met him during the summits.
Yes.
He left, I think, Lightstep at some point in the last couple of weeks or something.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Morgan,
Hello.
hi.
How's everyone doing?
Yeah, everyone's good. How are you?
Tired just because I flew to New York last night and didn't sleep much.
Hey, are
Otherwise,
you in New York, or are you back in? You're not back in Seattle, I suppose.
no, I was in Seattle on Monday. I had one day back after vacation and then had to fly to New York.
Cool. So I think I wanted to talk primarily two things. One was about the SIGs. So today, just so the folks that were not on the call this morning, we kicked off the SIG for PHP. And there's an echo. Somebody can mute. That'd be good. So that went well. I think Etsy and Mailchimp are the two companies that want to get involved in this. And Ted had joined the call. He gave a good overview of what the current state of the project is, and then we got into a little bit of the details on what's the best way to get them going. So Chris from the Python SIG had joined as well. So that's just a quick update. I think on the versioning side, the last meeting, continuation of the last meeting, and I don't know, Morgan, how much you've been caught up, but on the specification SIG, there is a document called milestones.md. Here, let me see if I can pull that up real quick. Give me 1 second. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
So Morgan, while you were out last week, we had a meeting where we aligned specifically around the spec, what the next milestones are for the specification. And the key takeaway was that while we've identified some milestones, alpha version 0.2, 3, 4, and I think the notion was by 5 we'd be ready to go to BA.
Yep.
The key takeaway was that we decided that the SIGs will adhere to this versioning rather than, so previously, prior to that meeting, there was a talk of, well, in order to not break the momentum, let the SIGs implement, the delta of where the spec was not ready, right? And then that would, when the spec is ready, we'd introduce a breaking change. So this prohibits that. In other words, like the SIGs are required to be tracking to the spec version. So in other words, if they released alpha 0.2, then we know that, hey, tracing, context propagation, and metrics is available.
I think that makes a ton of sense. I mean, obviously the SIGs will set their own dates, and we expect certain dates of the 4 most core languages, but this is consistent with my expectations.
Yeah, so that was to me, and that's what I was, prior to you joining this call, I was telling Midori that, I was fairly pleased that that happened, because I felt like, it just introduces more confusion around, hey, the SIG is whatever, the spec is alpha, but my library is whatever, like a different version. And this sort of gives, consistency. Now, having said that, as we peel the onion a little bit, I was talking to, I think, Rahul yesterday, and folks in the Node SIG had a similar concern, is that the package managers, like the Maven equivalents and whatever it is in Go, etc., they have special meanings around, the minor versions. So in other words, when you have cases of diamond dependencies, in other words, like, you have 2 parent dependencies that they need OpenTelemetry but different versions, that's where we get into a little bit of trouble. Okay. So I think that is something that Ted had raised, and he's aware of that. But I wanted to see if anybody, like if you or Midori, had any initial thoughts on that approach. Like, how should we? I think we're okay till we GA. I think this is all after GA.
Yeah.
But,
I don't know enough about these specific situations to know when it would be a problem. Most of my experience is in like .NET, where I don't think this would be a big challenge. If certain package managers have issues with minor versions, then we're going to have to address those.
Ted, did you join from the dentist's office?
Hey, yeah, I just got out of the dentist, so I'm walking home.
Yeah, well, I was just saying that because we heard a lot of noise, and we thought, hey, did he join while he was on the chair? No, just kidding. I'm glad you made it.
I survived. No cavities.
Yay.
Nice.
Yeah.
We're just getting Morgan caught up on the meeting from last week about the milestones for specification.
Great.
The topic of discussion, and I think you're aware of this a little bit, is language-specific package managers like what Go has. They have significance around the minor versions.
Yeah.
And the versioning scheme that we have adopted, and sort of we've maintained that, hey, libraries should track to specifications. So that can be a challenge over there. And I wanted to quickly see how we wanted to address that. I know it's way far out, but at least wanted to get some initial thoughts on it before I move on.
Well, have you been following the issue? There's like a ongoing issue thread in the spec repo about that. I believe what everyone's leaning towards is just having the major version numbers coordinate. Everything beyond that seems to be too complicated, or too many edge cases in one language or another. But just saying, we're going to hit 1.0 and everything. You can't have like a 2.0 SDK until the spec hits 2.0 or a 2.0 API, but to maybe just leave it at that. But there's like an ongoing, I believe it's either in the spec, a PR against the spec, or an OTEP that Tigran is leading, where that's getting hashed out.
One of the suggestions that Rahul made yesterday when I was discussing this with him was this, you know, once we get to GA or version 1.0 and beyond, to support these language-specific peculiarities, if you will, just have a matrix, compatibility matrix posted on the language page. Maybe that's an easier and quicker way to see, hey, this library version is, you know, aligned to spec version, whatever, 1, 2, 2.5. That's another option.
Yeah, I think it'll be easy to keep the major versions the same because no language really puts an impediment there. But yeah, in practice, in open tracing, literally all we had was an API and a spec, and even that was a shit show. So yeah, I agree that trying to tightly couple them beyond that is ends up just creating trouble, and in practice, it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we'll let the issue come to a conclusion over there, but I just wanted to make sure, like, you know, folks
Yeah.
in this meeting are aware, because I know different
Yeah.
people are paying attention to different things. Moving on to the next thing, the next topic I had was I saw Austin rolled out the new website. Obviously, it's a work in progress. So I was hoping Austin was going to join today, but it's okay, he didn't. I can message him separately. But I was thinking, would it be a good idea, two things, and I wanted sort of everybody's thoughts. One, put like a little banner that says alpha or something like that, so people know that, you know, because there's a lot of pages right now that have no information on it. So at least that's our way of signaling that, hey, this website is a work in progress. And second, maybe a way to collect feedback, source feedback basically around the website. What content would you like to see, that kind of stuff? Any thoughts on that?
I think that's great. The website is very easy to update. I think it's based on, you know, the same Hugo Markdown thing we had before. So, you know, I've seen websites put like a little like triangular banner in the corner, you know, not like a fork me on GitHub kind
That's
of
exactly
thing,
what
just,
I was thinking.
yeah, some kind of thing like that. It is almost feasible. It would be slightly fancier, but you could have that link go directly to the edit page because they're all a markdown file, right? You could even have it linked directly to the page on GitHub or the edit page. If someone's just, they see something, they want to change it, they click the button and then they can submit the edit themselves. But yeah, I totally agree. Just something like that, even if it's just a basic thing that just takes them to a link explaining how they can, you know, just make an issue, or, you know, here's how you change it yourself if you want to update it, would be great.
We could do that. We could do that as well.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree. Something that's just very like, hey, if you see something like just a thing that takes you to a page, it's like, here's how you submit an issue, or, you know, it's easy to make an update yourself if you want to just make a contribution. Some page that just has that info on it.
Yeah, yeah. All right, I'll ping at Austin and see if he has any specific ideas or not on that, and then we'll take it from there. Right.
Sweet. Yeah,
Okay.
he has a request, which is just to get, since he's going to be making a lot of edits, he can't, you know, self merge his own PRs.
Yeah.
Sorry for the traffic noise. He can't self merge his own PRs, so he was hoping to just, if y'all wouldn't mind watching that backlog, just to make sure stuff doesn't hang out there. And I think he was going to nominate me as just another approver. It would be great just to maybe get some more people with the ability to click the merge button into that repo. It's not, I feel like it's a less contentious repo than, you know, the SIGs and all the other stuff.
Yep.
So we just don't want to get blocked up by, you know,
Yeah,
stuff hanging around there.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
why I just approved his mega PR yesterday.
Yeah, thank you.
150 files. I was like, okay, scared of just
Yeah.
I'm
getting this
implementation.
going. I'm gonna approve it, and you know, this is,
Yeah,
you know, so yeah, I'm totally on board with that. I'm
yeah.
fine.
I think
Is Emmanuel also an approver of that repo?
I don't think so. There's one person. It's just right now you two and Austin, and then Steve, somebody from Omniscient. I think
Okay.
those are the only people on it.
Yeah,
But we should add, if you have someone who's willing to look at that thing and push the
I think
buttons.
Emmanuel would be. Emmanuel was
Yeah.
always did it for OpenCensus.io, and he approved most of my PRs for that. He was very quick.
Sweet. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead and add them. And I think, yeah, we should just take the approach of like fix it in post, you know, like approve changes. If someone's like, hey, that looks weird, then just keep on fixing it. And like, yeah, not worry too much.
Okay.
Before we move on to from the website, the last thing that I had on the website was, what day are we? Is there a particular? I know KubeCon is the next event, if you will.
Yep.
Like, how do we define? I wanted to see like what is it that we want the website to be by that time, right? Like, I know the work is in progress, but I think we should have a goal that says that by KubeCon we want X, Y, and Z in place.
Yeah, and this is going to be my biggest focus in the coming weeks. I think we need a plan both for the website and just like a general marketing plan. Amelia and I are meeting early next week to go over the more marketing focused plan. But I haven't yet, like we collectively haven't really put together a broader plan for the website. And it's awesome that Austin's working on the things he is, but and to be clear, like it's fantastic. We wouldn't have done anything otherwise. But we need something a little more concrete, a little more vision behind it.
Would it be a good idea if once you and Amelia meet next week, and after that meeting, perhaps come up with a list of milestones?
Yeah,
that you want both on the website and obviously on the marketing side. The marketing side, you know, you guys can track, but on the website side, at least we can see that, hey, are we hitting those? Or
yeah, marketing, I think Amelia and I can take also more direct action on.
Yeah.
Marketing PR. It's the website. I think the challenge that we've had collectively is just a lack of strong opinions. Like I don't, to be honest, I don't have strong opinions about what the website should look like. It should have some documentation and tell people what the project does and be good enough for that. But if anybody has strong notions of what our website should look like, I would love for them to take point on that.
You know, I think you raise a good point. Perhaps what we can do is model from a website, right? That an existing open source framework website, if you will.
Yeah.
And say, hey, let's try and get to 20% of this. And I'm not saying that should be a milestone. Define what that 20% looks like. If that means, you know, a quick start section, a project status, I'm just making up stuff. But if we have those milestones, then we can say by KubeCon, we have a very specific thing we're working on rather than Austin is doing a bunch of work on the website, which is very sort of nebulous, right? In terms of he could be spending his time. And that is more efficient use of his time as well.
Yeah.
He's very directed on what he's doing.
What do y'all think about we have like sort of a half SIG for the website right now?
Yep.
Why don't we just go full SIG? You know, create a Gitter channel and just put a regular meeting on the calendar.
A weekly meeting. Yep.
Yeah, and that'll be a way, if there's other people who care, other people have like content, copy edit people, they can show up. Like on Open Tracing, for example, Red Hat was able to assign some content people, you know, who are super bang up. So that might be a way to attract some more interest.
Yep, I will go create a PR right now to the community repo to add a SIG for the website.
Sweet.
And then we'll figure out what day of the week we want to meet. Yeah,
and I think it's half there, right? Because you've already got the the approvers and maintainers and stuff. We just need a channel and a meeting.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll get on
Sweet.
that right.
All right, cool. Thank you for that.
I'm meeting with Austin a little bit later today to talk about other things. If you'd like, I can actually just let him know what's happened here, what's transpired. And if he has a plan that he would like to socialize, I can let him know to go ahead and do that.
He and I think Ted and Jigger had already gone over like a rough template. I think this, like, collectively, we need to just be spending more time on it together.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no lack of intent. It's just everyone's busy.
Yeah.
And Midori, in your talks with him, definitely, I think that's a good idea. If he has a better plan, I think tell him to circulate that, and then that's a starting point to iterate upon.
Great. Yep, can do.
Awesome. In terms of, we typically also do SIG status, but most of the SIGs are not present. Like specification is missing. I think we met last week, so I think we know fairly well where they are. I think, Ted, you mentioned that they are planning to wrap up Alpha 0.2 related work by end of this week. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're hoping the real final thing there is just that metrics, the big metrics draft that Josh has. That's the real meat and potatoes. And I think once that's in, we'll be able to say, 0.2 on the spec. And then we're trying to do a drive of just getting all of the SIGs to put milestones into their backlog that match that 0.2, 0.3 of the spec. It won't match their own internal version numbers necessarily, but just, tracking relative to the spec. And I don't know if you saw that, but then that graphic on the website will kind of stay up to date with that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's been
sweet. Yeah, in general, what I've been asking Midori to help with, sorry if you all have gone over this already, and hi Midori, but I've been trying to get more insight into the backlogs and the status of the SIGs. Currently, it feels like, I kind of have to go around and poke people and kind of manually collect up the information. And I would like to have confidence in something like these milestones or something like that, where I can just go look in their backlogs and feel like I got a grip on where things are relative to our roadmap. So any thoughts or effort that could be put into getting that into a state where we can have a kind of cross-language view of the project would be super great.
I think first of all, the SIG, I agree with you, A, and B, I don't think all of the SIGs have these milestones that are in sync. So I think the first step is to get them there. Having said that, if, from what I heard from you, if specification has done that, specification SIG has done that, then I think what we can do is tell the SIGs that I can talk to the SIG leads on my end to tell them that, hey, go look at the specification SIG and how the milestones are set up, and do the same for your SIG and start tracking to those. And I think that lays the foundation for what you're saying, which is the next level of it is built on top of that basic, consistent structure.
Yeah, we've got that milestone thing that Sergey put out. I think it's great. I think it needs maybe some refinement and clarity and to be put up onto the website. But yeah, some kind of feedback loop where the SIGs are looking at that and then making their own backlog out of that. So, it's possible to look, because I can look at these backlogs right now and I can see there's stuff happening, but it's hard to gauge the relative progress against this yardstick that we're making right now.
I'll take that on this, and I already taken an action item. I'll talk to the SIGs on my end. Yeah, cool. Just a quick status update. Python, I can only talk to the SIGs that I know of. Python released yesterday. It's alpha, which is good, yay, but it's also missing exporters, which is part of the definition of alpha. So I think compliance to the versioning is getting there. It's not the strictest, but I think where we are is good. I believe Node was also following suit in terms of, I think they were ready to launch the alpha for tracing API and SDK, and for metrics, just the API by tomorrow or today. I haven't talked to them.
Great.
I've been in meetings all day. So that's Node. Go is in a similar place, but I don't know exactly when. I think, oh yeah, I talked to him yesterday. Go is also ready to launch for tracing, just for tracing this week. However, metrics they think will probably be by middle of October. And then Java, I believe the exporters are missing, but don't hold me to it. I don't have a good status on Java.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is just for everybody's knowledge. That is all the call.
Right. I think C# is in the lead there. I think they've got all the stuff in on lock at this point, but Austin knows the deets there.
Got it. Cool. Awesome. That is all I had. Did anybody else on the call have anything that they wanted to bring up, talk about?
Just a high level note. So there's some of us like Midori and me, and I'm sure some others who would be happy to do some like community management / triage work. You know, but right now you need to have some level of permissions in order to do that, right? Like I think GitHub has like a specific triager permissions, but basically the ability to manage labels, like
Yeah.
be able to not necessarily approve or push code, but like just manipulate labels and
I know what you
delete
mean.
issues and stuff, that thing. We don't have like a community membership level that maps to that right now. And so that's like just like a point of process. I'd love to hand out that access, but we need to kind of define what that looks like. So I've been meaning to make like an issue for that. If someone else wants to champion that and get over the finish line, that'd be great. But that's a thing that would be helpful.
I missed the last part. What did you say? That it's on who to finish that?
Oh no, I was saying I've been meaning to make an issue and championing that. If someone else wants to do that, that's great. But that's just a thing I was planning on doing. I don't know if anyone has like a specific plan. I was going to ask for something that's organizational wide.
Yeah.
So that people don't have to go around getting like a bajillion permissions, since it's such a low level of access. I think it'd be easier.
Is it the tech committee or the governance committee?
Yeah, I don't know. It's the admin people. It's the same group, so pretty much.
Oh.
So it doesn't matter. I know Sergey had initially pushed back and been like, "Can you just go sig by sig?" But then when I looked at the actual membership levels we had, it felt like we just didn't have one that matched this. So I'd like to bring it up again, and I would like to say, look, this will be a lot simpler if we can just have like an organizational wide team that with this level, and you just put people into that team, and it's no biggie. So that's my suggestion for how we do it, and I can put that into an issue. If people have another approach in their back pocket, you know, I'm totally open.
I don't have anything, at least not top of my head.
Okay. Well, I'll try to make that issue this afternoon, and I'll circulate it with you guys just so you know you can jump on there, and hopefully we can get that sorted out pretty quick. Since the access level we're talking about is so low, I don't think it should be like a contentious thing. Yeah.
If anything, it makes it easier for whoever that wants to participate.
Right. Yeah. It's a great way to offer, you know, participation for people who are interested but don't necessarily want to contribute code. So
right.
I think it would be good to have that front and center.
Agree. Cool.
Great.
Sweet.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for your time.
Yep.
And we will catch up, definitely not next week, but the week after that.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks.
Alrighty.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
See ya.
And that should be done soon.
Aloha.
Yep.